Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Welcome to MBA Unfiltered. My name is Akash Shinde. In this video, we are going to have a candid conversation with Mridul, who has cracked XLRI Jamshedpur, which is premium B school for each and every MBA aspirant who is looking for that. Mridul, welcome back to our channel. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Akash?
I'm doing great. Mridul, let us know about your profile, 10, 12, UG, WorkX, as well as your background and the company that you worked.
So I'm engineering graduate from NIT Surat. I have in my 10th I've secured 94, 12th it is 74, and in graduation it was 76%.
Yeah. Mridul, looking at your profile, the first thing that comes to my mind is what's the motto of doing MBA for you?
For me, MBA basically before MBA it was CAT, and I was aspiring to crack CAT because it was another competitive examination where I wanted to prove my edge. MBA came later on when I got into work around steel industry, and I decided, okay, so I have experience procurement. I want to deep dive into more supply chain and management. So for that, I decided to pursue
Okay.
MBA. This
Mridul,
was
how you used to
my
prepare for the CAT examination since you're working professional? So I know it's gonna be very tough for the students to prepare for CAT as well as look for your job, and you have to also perform exceptionally well in your
so I had started preparing long back, around 3 years back. So I completed all my syllabus back in 2022 and gave CAT 2022. Had a 99 plus percentile in CAT, but for that, I was thrown away. I had not cleared my sectional cutoff in, I think, decision making section. So for that, I have to repeat again and again because I was not getting any good calls back then. So apart from that, when I was working, I was essentially focused on giving more mocks and refining my strategies so as to see a jump in my scores, which
yeah.
was the ultimate aim.
So you have prepared and you started preparation for the CAT from 2022 itself. It's just that you
Yes.
wanted to excel in whatever MBA exam that is present there. Have you appeared for SNAP as well as NMAT?
Snap and Nmat I wanted to give, but again, for that I didn't have the necessary bandwidth available. I just focus on these two examinations only. So
Okay.
CAT and ZAT it was.
Okay.
And
So
IFT
Mridul,
was, yeah, I didn't give IFT because now it
okay.
is, I think, taken by CAT. Yeah.
So Mridul, let's move back to the interview experience of XLRI Jamshedpur, right? Could you shed some
Yes.
light on what kind of interview question that were asked to you? What was the
Mm-hmm.
duration of the interview? And I know it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be one of the offline interview that XLRI looks for. And yes, what was your response to these questions?
Okay, so XLRI had a very unique kind of interview for me. So in this interview, they were basically asking you around situational questions around your work experience. As to you are in this office, you encounter some case of bribery because I was into procurement there. So there was this situation of a bribery case that was given to me, and they were basically trying to check whether I will break my integrity or not. And then they were giving me some emotional situations as to my friend is suffering, he's on the verge of dying, whether you will take that bribe or not. And basically, they were trying to break your integrity and see if in even in dire situation, are you going to go for the unethical takeaway for the money and help your friend, or you will do something else. This was one of the portions of the interview, and in the second half, they were basically trying to know me about my personality as to what I'm doing in my hobbies, what I'm doing, what I'm pursuing. So I told them that I help people with their mathematical puzzles because I am as a cat aspirant. I also help my cat fellow cat aspirants in their doubts and JE aspirants also. So this was something which I was doing. So they said that is this a talking point or not? Because many a times people go in NGO and then they perform and then say okay, I have worked in NGO. So are you doing for just a talking point, or it is a genuine interest from your side?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, they were basically trying to assess. The point was that even if you're doing it as a talking point, are you going to do it post the interview as well? So the
Mm-hmm.
intent, even if it has a selfish motive, are you going to commit to it and are you going to follow it till uh, the point where the interview is over as well? So they were trying to test me on those points. So it was a long interview. I think it was around 20-25 minutes. For both BM and HRM, they have a different kind of interview. So this was the business management interview that I had with XLRI.
Okay. What about the technical question that we asked you during the interview?
So there were no technical questions as such. I again would iterate that they were basically trying to get around my situational awareness as to how I will act in certain kind of situations. That's it. So that's
That's
it.
quite
That's
interesting.
all.
Yeah, XLRI is kind of institute who checks your critical thinking. I have seen from last 3 to 4 years, they wanted person and then they wanted people who can really make an impact into society as well as community. That's how their interview revolves around. So, I just wanted to understand, were there any GK as well as current affair question that we asked to you regarding the current scenario that is happening there in the industry?
So for GK, I don't think so. It would be very rare for XLRI to probe into GK because they already have this GK section in the ZAT examination only.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I was not probed into GK. They have a SOP. They follow an SOP in their interviews, which we basically pre-fill to the interview. In the HRM interview, I filled around, there was a problem statement as to how you define the problem statement by yourself and how you are going to go about it. So I myself took the initiative and filled about the layoffs which were happening in the tech space.
Mm-hmm.
So then the cross question was, how are you going to try to systematically lay off people? And because you cannot stop making people, you have only certain amount of people with you, and the extra you need to cut off because then company will have to increase its margin. So how are you going to systematically evaluate people? How are you going to evaluate their profile? How the senior level people in the upper strata, you are going to make them leave the company. So basically how, everything around the HR policies and how you are going to shape it, and what is your decision making capacity and thought process that you are going to do is what they are looking at around. This is
Oh,
about the HR interview.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's quite interesting. So, Mridul, I just wanted to understand, since you have gone through XLRI interview, you might have met some people who have also been there, right? Could you
Yes.
share some light? What kind of questions were asked to these people during their interviews?
So the first one of the candidates that went first in the interview, so he was also probed on his W80. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever written essay that he had written, he was very much probed heavily on that. So around 30 minutes of session was there for his interview, and he was grilled basically on whatever he has written. It was about how AI is going to eat the uh,
Jobs.
general management jobs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So which are written in basically, which don't require any kind of aptitude or something creative from you. Anything redundant will be definitely eaten by AI. So will AI make management obsolete? So that was one of the topics on which the essay had to be written, and he was basically grilled on that.
Okay. How
So,
many teachers were there during the interviews?
for my both the interviews, BM or HRM, there were three panelists,
Okay.
and each one of them was going one after another, and then it was a very long interview.
What was the duration of the interview?
I think on an average it would be around 20 plus minutes, 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh,
For some, it was extended up to 40 minutes as well. And I was in both the interviews, I was the last candidate to be interviewed.
okay.
So it
Do you
took
think
me a
that
lot.
your percentile plays a very important role during the interviews, or the GD as well as PI? What happens in this GD and PI would be the make and break for getting a seat into XLRI.
I have seen candidates who have secured the grade percentile, like I have a 99.95. I have seen candidates with a 99.97, and they have not been given a wait list also. So
Oh,
definitely GPA is a make or break section. So
so
people with
Mridul,
the best calls, yeah, sure. You are saying something.
yeah, yeah, you're saying something.
So I just wanted to say that people with their best calls, even at 99.9899, they have been waitlisted, or they have not been even given a waitlist number. They have been directly rejected. So essentially, GDPI is going to be the make or break section, whether it is for the IIMs or it is for the Excel. So we need to take it very seriously post
Okay.
the. obviously.
So, Mridul, what's your last piece of advice to the people who are aspiring for XHAT? Go walk us through,
Okay.
let's say I'm a non-technical, non-engineering person, and there's another
Okay.
technical person. So, shed some light how I should prepare for the interviews, and also tell about the technical person and non-technical person.
I think for that, for XLRI, the interviewers basically are going to probe you around your soft skills. So, what is your thought process? How are you going to perform in a situation? And that is definitely reflective of the kind of paper they set in ZAT. They have this decision-making section wherein they evaluate, and they are also going to evaluate live during the PI rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it is essentially that you make up some scenarios around your workplace, and how are you going to perform, or how are you going to work around those areas. If there is a problem, how are you going to solve that? So make some hypothetical scenarios, work around it. And if you have done something in your hobbies, you have something to talk about, think about it. They may ask you some questions around it. So it's definitely some of the areas wherein a good hold on, and you can prepare and deliver there. So that is my suggestion.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mrudul, for connecting with us and sharing the nuances. I hope this interview will definitely reach to the masses, and it will help the upcoming aspirants who are looking for or who are gunning for IMC as well as XLRI. Again, thank you so much for connecting with us.
Thank you.